This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News. News-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, scholars and laymen, brothers and sisters. This is your favorite artivist, Brother Ron, broadcasting once again from Saginaw, also known as the Sag Nasty, Michigan, the birthplace of Stevie Wonder and Serena Williams, and now the eternal resting place as far as remains go of my dear Grandma BrITto, who we lost on August 3rd, 2016. And her second husband, my Grandpa BrITto, joined the love of his life on August 31st, 2016. Just 28 days after I buried my grandma, I had to bury my grandpa. And now I officially have no living grandparents whatsoever, but they live on in my memory. And Grandpa BrITto was actually found in his wife of 42 years, my grandma's favorite chair, in the kitchen. He was sitting down in the kitchen, partly dressed in his pajamas, and like he just fell asleep. And like he said in one of his lectures, he loved East Saginaw. That's the black part of Saginaw, the hood part. And he said the only way he was leaving was feet first. And he basically fulfilled his wish. Your words create worlds. And what I think is unique about my Grandpa BrITto, one of the last Facebook messages he wrote talked about how he used to write love notes to my grandma every day before he went to work as a beloved and inspiring and accomplished college professor. Before he went to work every day for 40 plus years, he used to write my grandma love notes, talking about how much he really loved her. He couldn't wait to get back home, to be with her, to do great things for her. Think about that. Even after she passed on August 3rd, he still was in a routine of writing love notes to my grandma before he went to work. And school just started back. The college was very concerned when he missed some of his classes in the morning. The authorities came over and they found him, like I said, in my grandma's favorite chair, as if he was sleeping. And also August 31st marked the birthday or life affirmation day of one of his favorite people, his sister, who still lived in India. Normally he would call his sister to wish her happy birthday. but there was no call this year. The only call came from relatives with the sad news that my grandpa BrITto has passed away. My grandpa BrITto was a very fascinating man to me. I did not grow up with my paternal grandparents. He actually is the second husband of my grandma who passed away. He is not my biological grandfather, but he was a grandfather to me. My first grandfather, I'm standing at his grave, just 7 rows away from his wife. And now she will be joined by my grandpa BrITto, her second husband. My first grandfather was a celebrated civil rights activist who died on a job under mysterious circumstances, Herbert Hurd Sr. She was married to him for 20 years, but she was married to grandpa BrITto for 42 years. And I always call them the odd couple of love, strange love. It's not a way I'm not trying to dismiss their love or put them down, but it was highly unusual love. In a way, it was not the most orthodox or contemporary or convenient love. My grandpa BrITto came out of India, the country of India. He wasn't a Native American Indian, but he actually was an Indian from the country of India. He was an educator. He actually was discovered in Rome, Italy, while doing school. He was recruited to come to all places, Saginaw, Michigan, back in the 60s. He became a naturalized citizen in 1967. So next year would have been the 50th anniversary of him being a citizen of the United States of America. So you gotta think about, my grandmother was a widow in her early 40s with 7 children. She had 8 children, but lost the 8th one, or the 7th one in early. But she had 7 children that came into adulthood. This man, at a young age, he was 10 years younger than my grandma. Don't make her a cougar, just make her highly desirable. She was 10 years her junior, about grandpa BrITto was. But this man was willing to marry a black woman, an African-American woman with 7 children, recently widowed in her early 40s. And his father was very much a traditional Indian. He believed, I guess, in arranged or approved marriages. So he had to convince his father for 6 months to allow him to marry this black woman. Now you gotta think about this. From my understanding and talking to people, Indians are not necessarily very fond of African American, especially a young Indian man with potential marrying this black woman with 7 kids. But his father approved the marriage. And so when my grandma actually went over there finally, it wasn't until the 10th day that his father talked to my grandmother. And he asked her how was it to be a Mexican American in America, because they never met a black American before. So they thought she was a Mexican. He thought she was a Mexican for almost 2 weeks until he finally spoke to her. And so it's interesting. It was not a convenient thing, but most of the great things in life are not going to be the easiest or most convenient things to do. And because of that, they had a partnership for almost 50 years. And looking at one of grandpa BrITto's lectures, he said that the greatest thing you can do is get lost in the service of others. As I've been to Saginaw over this summer 3 times this year already, not knocking Saginaw, but it's now a place that I will be visiting 3 times in 1 year, albeit it was under tragic circumstances. Every time I met a stranger in Saginaw, I met somebody at the funeral service, they always had nothing but great things or high praises to say for grandpa BrITto. And he was a phenomenal educator. He was very much a motivational speaker extraordinaire. He really loved serving people. You can tell when a person loves people when he not only marries a widow, but he marries a widow with 7 children. He never had any biological children of his own, but he always claimed us as his own, like we were blood. He always respected us. And he was the same man at home as he was in public, because he really loved people. He loved being around people. Now, I didn't have a chance to grow up around my paternal grandparents. I didn't spend the Christmases or wedding anniversaries or special family get-togethers. It wasn't until I became a grown person over the last several years that I really had a chance to get to know my father's side of the family. And I'm glad that I had a chance to know him. And not only that, I am so glad that I actually took the time to come visit my grandma as she lay dying on her birthday this past July 4th. Because I knew that this was going to be the last time I might have seen her alive. And to see the dedication of my grandpa BrITto every day by her bedside for hours at a time, those 9 weeks took a toll on him. And even he said it, he hadn't had his wife for 9 weeks. Although he was there with her, she wasn't her usual self. She was going in and out of consciousness. So all type of health issues, of course, compounded on that. And it's supposed to be a time of celebration, but really it was a time of waiting. It's like we was waiting for her to pass away. And when she finally did, it really, you can never prepare for something like that. Because death, part of life is death. And everybody got to die. But you can never be too fully prepared for somebody to die, even though you know it's coming soon. So it really took Grandpa BrITto back. Like the ancestors are calling me through, man. I can feel the ancestral power coming through. Really nice day. Not even fall, but it's like fall in Michigan in the summertime, in the last days of summer. But those 9 weeks took a toll on him. He had his own health issues to deal with. And I'm glad, even after the funeral service for my grandma, something told me to go back to their home. Their home was over 100 years old, beautiful home, where my grandma raised her 7 children with my grandfather, Herbert Hurd Sr., and also with my grandpa, Grandpa BrITto, who I actually met. I never met my other grandfather because he died in 1970, and I wasn't born until 1980. So something told me, before you hit that 13-hour road back to Memphis, go visit your grandparents' home. And sure enough, Grandpa BrITto was there by himself, and we talked, and it was good to be able to talk to him one-on-one, and to, you know, really, I mean, he was sad. He really missed his Letha. He loved Letha. He cooked for her. He cleaned for her. He served her. He really loved that woman. And it was like, I didn't really know how profound that love was until I got a text from my cousin Dominique saying he passed away on August 31st that morning. It really took me aback, and I'm still dealing with that. I didn't really grow up with him, but just getting a chance to know him these past several years, he was really an authentic person, a genuine person. You could tell he loved my grandma's children like his own. You could tell, man, I mean, what really touched me was when, during the repast for my grandma's funeral, he told one of his dear friends that he claimed me as his grandson. I mean, like, wow, he claimed me as his grandson. It really took me, it made me feel so good. I ain't gonna say validated, but it's good to know that, hey, he looked at me as his grandson. He was proud, you know, and people know me. People think I'm the weird one. I always claim I'm creatively maladjusted. I'm creatively maladjusted because this system is not made for the prosperity and the well-being of black folks. So if you are adjusted to a system that try to undermine you at every turn, that promotes the systemic genocide of your people, then you a damn fool. So, but people look at me as a fool, but I play the part of the fool because it's called survival. So to hear him claiming as his own to one of his dearest friends really, you know, meant a lot to me. I didn't get a chance to tell him that, but it meant a lot. But I took some pictures with him, even played around with Aunt Tilly ashes. Some people think I'm disrespectful of the dead because I like to take pictures with dead loved ones and celebrate life. But, you know, it is what it is. I understand and I respect people's opinion, but I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. Like, I'm known for hanging out in cemeteries and playing my horn for hours because dead folks can't complain about your playing because they dead. Nothing like dead critics, because dead critics can't complain. But anyway, man, my grandpa was married to almost 50 years. And I don't know, man. He died just 28 days after his wife because he had plans. I mean, people wanted him to come all over the country, visit people in Houston and Charleston and Maryland. He had a schedule that was full of people wanting to be with him. But I could not imagine going back to that house every night after work. All those memories, all those photographs, all those memories, and trying to get used to the fact that a person you spend almost over half of your life with is now gone. A person that knows you better than anybody on the planet, including your own parents, have passed away. Your best friend, your best partner, the one that could love you and still wash your dirty drawers, and still deal with your snoring, and still deal with your toenail clippings, and still deal with your weird hang-ups, have now left you. I don't know if I will ever experience a love like that. I don't know. It must really be a blessing to experience something like that. I have no idea, to be honest with you, but I just want to salute him, Grandpa BrITto. I thought I had more time. Something told me to call you, and then I get the message that you dead. So people never put off that feeling because that's your God instincts. That's your God tuition coming to you. When you hear that voice or something tell you, hey, you need to call so-and-so, or something reminds you of so-and-so, please do all you can to connect with that person while they're still here. I'm not really afraid of death by any means. It's a part of life. I don't care how pretty or young or rich you are. Your ass still got to go, regardless where you go. But I know that Grandpa BrITto has got to be in a better place. Even if he's in the ground, he's no longer suffering in our realm. He's with his beloved Letha some way. And I'm thinking about my grandfather Herbert, and he got Grandpa BrITto. My grandfather Herbert spent 20 years with this woman, made a life with this woman, set a great example for his children. And my grandma BrITto set a great example for her children and for her future generations. And had my grandpa BrITto there. It's a new version of Three's Company, because both of these men love their Letha. Both of these men were men of color, of substance, of greatness, of integrity, of honor. They believe in serving people. They believe in giving people the best that they have. They were committed to family. They value true education, which is to me knowledge of self. And I couldn't ask for greater men to learn from. Even in their death, they have living legacies. Grandchildren, great-grandchildren, people that they inspired in their respective communities. As long as you share their memory, they can never die. As long as you share their ideas and live those ideas and manifest those ideas in your own way, they can never die. And I want to thank Grandpa Neville's other side of the family, the people from across the pond, for sharing this phenomenal man with us. In the words of the great Duke Ellington, he was truly beyond category. And we also love you madly, Grandpa. Wherever you are with Grandma, I hope y'all in a better place. I hope y'all know that you are all very much loved and will be missed, and that your memory will live through us by any means necessary.